So today we're going to be playing Doodle Empires. This is a game that I've seen a ton of suggestions for. I've seen a few videos about it and it looks like it would be perfect for this channel. So we're going to be giving it a shot. Now I do want to say that I've never actually played this game before, so I apologize if I'm not very good at it, but that's also part of the experience. So if you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All the support is greatly appreciated as we're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers by the end of this summer. We just created a brand new Discord server full of fans from our community. We post a lot of mapping stuff, flags, Wixo discussions, and a lot more mapping related stuff. So if you guys are interested in joining that Discord server, there is a link to it down in the description below. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump straight into this video. So like I said, never played this game before. I do know though that recently there was a brand new map added to this game, and I believe that it was a full-on world map. I don't know what any of this stuff means, so we're just gonna ignore it. All right, so we're on the world map here, and it looks like we're gonna be able to choose where we want to put our brand new country. Like I said, I've watched a few little videos about this, so I know like the basic gist of things. I just don't really know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm gonna be a little bit realistic here. We're gonna start our civilization right here in Mesopotamia. So we're just gonna name it Mesopotamia, and I believe we are gonna be good to go ahead and start filling this place in. So much like real life, Mesopotamia, kind of the birthplace of civilization, right between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. And looks like this is gonna be just about what we do for our beginning country. Might go down here into Iran a little bit, get some coast along the Persian Gulf. That's always useful. And then I do believe that I want to expand our Mediterranean coast a little bit, so we'll just go down the coast of Israel. And there we go. So now it looks like we have to draw a card, and we have to create a new nation. So let's go ahead and put a nation down here in India. This is another area that had like early civilization, another good area to put a country, so we'll just go do something like that, kind of like an inland country, not really along the coast. Maybe I should have put it along the coast, but simply we're just going to call them India, and draw another card, and we get to make yet another new nation. So I'm kind of tempted to maybe go over here to China and start civilization. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to kind of do it over here around the Yellow Sea. So something that just kind of wraps around, maybe goes in towards Korea a little bit, but mostly just kind of sticking over here to the coast. And this is going to be a pretty big civilization, I think. It is. So there we go. There's China. Draw a card, and we're making another nation. Let's head on over to the Americas, and let's make something over here. I don't really want to go off of an ancient civilization, so let's make like a Floridian nation. I don't really think the world needs this, especially this early on, but we're gonna do it anyway. And we're gonna make them like an actual kind of like civilization across the Caribbean Sea here. Do I want to keep going, or do I just want to leave them to Florida? Maybe we'll give them a little bit more land around Florida, and then we'll do Jamaica, and then maybe Haiti, and a little bit of the Dominican Republic, if not all of it. Okay, there we go. We actually have all of the Caribbean islands other than Puerto Rico, which is nice. So I think instead of going further there, we're just gonna wrap it around Louisiana, and there we go. All right, and we finally get a card that has nothing to do with starting a new civilization, but our card says to largely expand, which means we get to make Florida a lot bigger. So let's do exactly that. Let's move them up the East Coast into like the DC area, maybe go up to New York. Let's give them a little bit of land in the Yucatan Peninsula. And then honestly, let's just give them the rest of the Caribbean islands down over here towards South America. Let's give them Panama, that would be cool. And then like northern Venezuela / Colombia. And there we go. So Florida has become a very large civilization off the bat, a lot larger than the other civilizations we've made. So we also have these things. I'm not entirely sure what this is, but it looks like it might be like, oh, I don't know actually. Let's find out. Is it like cities? Jacksonville? I guess so. I guess that's Jacksonville now. Over here, I guess we'll do like Baghdad. I'm not really sure what like cities are over here, so I'm just gonna call this Indus. And then like kind of the same thing for China, but not really. Let's put their capital in that peninsula. We'll just do Beijing. I know that's not where Beijing is, but yeah, close enough. A couple hundred miles north. I don't really know how to delete these things. I was trying to get rid of it to make like an actual capital city, but I appear to be failing at that. So let's just hit random nation. Looks like we got China, and we're gonna go ahead, select them, and then draw a card. Large expansion. So I do know that there are different levels of expansion. We keep getting large expansion, which is kind of nice, but do know that that isn't the only option. There's also small expansion. Don't really want to go too far up north into Russia because I feel like we can do something else there. So let's move them a little bit inland like that. There we go. And then as for China, they are expansionist and they are a hill dweller, so I guess it's like the light gray areas. I need to get myself a map like this for my like scenario videos and Wixo videos, because this actually has good geography on it. Oh, I figured out how to delete cities. There we go. There's Jacksonville. Anyway, let's go ahead and draw a card for Mesopotamia, and they are going to split into two. How unfortunate. Also ironic. Oh wait, no, we're splitting Florida up. I could have sworn that I just selected Mesopotamia. Whatever, that's fine though. So Florida is going to be losing a good portion of their empire. Actually, it looks like they might be losing a majority of it. So let's make ourselves kind of a hybrid Caribbean, kind of Southeast American world, split between the Floridians and I guess the Cubans. We'll even split Hispaniola in two, just to be realistic. All right, well, that was a lot more land land than I thought they were going to lose. That is a lot of land. That's all right though. We're actually going to go back over here to Mesopotamia and actually select this nation this time. Draw a card and we'll do medium expansion. I made the mistake of not checking what kind of civilization this is again. So we're just going to hope that they really like the deserty kind of coastal areas because that's where they're going. I might also move Mesopotamia a little bit into like the Egyptian area around the Nile. So they were a tolerant flatlander nation. So that's actually fine. This is mostly flatlands, I believe. Anyway, let's do something with India. We haven't really done anything with India yet. So they're going to do a large expansion, which is actually really good for them. But we're really just going to move them around the Indian Peninsula here. I'm going to go back to Mesopotamia and select them again. And they're going to do a small expand. Once again, these guys are flatlanders. So we'll just kind of keep them in the white areas, which I'm believing that's what that means. And I think we're going to select Mesopotamia again. We're going to get a little bit risky here. Oh, okay. We're going to get a new nation instead. I think we're going to start one up here in Europe. And we're going to put them like, I guess, in Denmark/northern Germany. Seems like a good place for a civilization to start, maybe. We're going to instantly select these guys and see what we can do with them. Looks like they're mountaineers. And they're going to get a medium expand. So I'm just going to actually just throw them right on up into Norway. They should like it there. Very mountainy. We're going to select these guys yet again. And we're going to get a new nation. So let's go down here to Southern Africa. We'll make a nice little like South African Cape Town, you know, nice country for trade when you're going around Africa, because I don't think the Suez Canal exists at this point. Not really sure what these guys' archetype is. We're about to find out though. Looks like they are flatlanders, so maybe not the best place to put them at. But I did want to go ahead and select our Floridian Empire one more time just to see what we can do with them, and they're going to get a large expand. So we're just going to, you know, re-invade the blue team here. Don't mind us, just gonna take some of this land rightfully back. Actually, we're gonna take a lot of it back. And then we're gonna start a new colony over here in South America along the northern Venezuelan coast. So now the Floridian Empire is looking pretty good, but not the blue team. So let's go ahead and select them and see what we can do for them. Union. Sweet. We're going to unionize these guys with Florida. Oh, that's not what I meant. Okay, well, the Floridian Empire just got annexed by Yucatan, but we're going to like pretend this is still Florida. Okay, so I just got a large expand over here for Denmark, which is really good. They're mountaineers, so I'm just going to push them on up all the way throughout Norway. And then we're going to do Mesopotamia. We're going to get a new nation yet again. Let's do one down here in southern South America. Something over here like in Uruguay, maybe going up the Brazilian coast just a little smidge. Down here in like Argentina. They're flatlanders, so that's good to know, and they're going to be split up immediately. That's really unfortunate for them. And yeah, so welcome back, red team. All right, so we have something new here. Found religion. We're in Mesopotamia right now, which means we're going to have to create a new religion, and I think we're going to just do, I guess, Islam, right? We don't really necessarily have to do it based off of real life, but now we do have the faith map having something on it. So really right now there's only one religion, and that is the one of Mesopotamia. There's also the origin mode, which makes this really interesting. So we can see that the origin of this entire country is from Florida, but the origin of these two countries is from the orange team. And then I guess there's two orange teams now. Whoops, my bad. But we got a small expand over here for Mesopotamia. So okay, that wasn't much at all. Let's do it again. Let's see what happens. Let's do Mesopotamia once more. We're going to draw a card and we're going to get a medium expand this time. So let's bring them all the way out here towards the Indian Ocean. We're also going to bring them around Persia a little bit and then up into Anatolia. But I also kind of want to just fill them in a little bit, you know, get this area down here a little bit more filled in. I don't know how useful it is for these civilizations, but we're going to hope that it's a lot useful. And we're going to find another religion in Mesopotamia. Oh no, we get to choose this time. All right, let's go with India. Or no, we don't get to choose. I'm confused. Like I said, this is my first time playing this game. So far, it's really cool, but I don't really know what I'm doing. Maybe there's like a strategy that I'm missing, or, you know, really anything. So I apologize if you've played this game before and you're watching me and you're like, man, this guy sucks. All right, China, what we got with you? We got a large expand with China. China is about to be our largest civilization. Let's actually put them over here in Japan. I feel like they would like that. We'll give them all these little islands over here. We actually might just start giving them a bunch of islands out in the Pacific. Maybe they're kind of like oceanic. I doubt it though, because that's more for like actual Oceania to do. I think I remember these guys being hilly, so we'll give them the northern Philippines, and then we're gonna start filling in like southern China down here. Yeah, we'll go curve down into Vietnam and then give them land up here, and that looks pretty good. Yeah, China's huge. I don't think there's a nation that's bigger than China at this point, other than maybe the Floridian Empire, which, speaking of, we're gonna select them and see what we can do. Oh, they're going to unionize with somebody. They don't really have anyone around them to unionize with, so let's have a little bit of fun with this. Let's say that the Floridians have just given up on exploring North America. Let's say that they're going to unionize with South Africa and set up what is essentially a colony over here in Southern Africa. So I think it is probably safe to say at this point that Florida is the strongest country on this map. Maybe China, but I'm also pushing towards Florida because they have actual like foreign land now. But let's go down here to South Brazil, see if we can get anything good for them. They're going to get a new nation. All right, let's go down to Oceania. Let's start something new down here. I'm just gonna put them along the like southern Australian coast because there is a lot of diversity in terrain here. So like if they're mountainous, then they're gonna have the ability to go up in these mountains. If they're flatlands, then they're gonna take over the entire continent, so on and so forth. But I think something like this is gonna work pretty well for us and what we want to do. Let's also go ahead and throw them down a capital city. We're just gonna call these guys South Australia, and yeah, we're gonna immediately select them. They are flatlanders and expansionist, which is good. Let's draw a card, and they're gonna immediately get split up. Okay, my bad, Australia. So yeah, that was very short-lived. We'll split this thing in two. I'm actually gonna go ahead and select it again. Large expand. So how about we do this? Let's go ahead and push right back on into the Lime team. We're not gonna eradicate it. Actually, we're gonna eradicate it. Goodbye, Lime team. And then we're gonna start pushing towards Central Australia. Now, from this point out in the video, I'm gonna start hitting the random button. It's gonna randomly bring me to a civilization, and then I'm gonna draw a card for that civilization. We're gonna get large expand, which is awesome for Denmark down here. But instead of going north, let's go south. Let's go down into the Alps, because remember, these are mountainous folk, and we have to get them to their mountains, of course. So now we have ourselves kind of like a Germanic empire in a way, but going back down to South Australia, this was with the random nation. We're getting a new leader. So right now they're expansionist and flatlanders, and I don't know if it changed, but we're building a castle all of a sudden. That's fine. We're gonna call it Fort Upside Down. Did Australia get a new leader? It didn't change, so I'm not too sure, but the name changed. So they did get a new leader. It's just they have the exact same archetypes. All right, now we have Orange Uruguay. We are in the age of conflict. We get to select a nation, so let's go with Uruguay, like the game said to. Draw a card, and we're gonna create a new nation. I don't know what that has to do with the age of conflict. I'm a little bit confused. So let's form a new nation over here in Morocco. I feel like this is a good place to put a nation. Maybe we'll go up into Iberia as well, but we're gonna go down the West African coast. We'll give them some of these islands, and there's our new nation. We're gonna name their capital city Jib, because I don't know how to spell Gibraltar off the top of my head. Also, I think I spelled Copenhagen wrong, so I'm sorry to my Danish viewers. But the game wants us to go back down here to South Brazil, so we will. We're going to draw a card, and we're going to get a large expand for these guys. So really, I think we're just going to like fill in this area. Yeah, something like that. For China, we get a small expand. So once again, we're just gonna kind of go inland a little bit. And wow, the randomizer really likes South America. So we're getting Uruguay now. They're gonna get new nation, which means absolutely nothing happens to them. And instead, we're making a new country. I'm gonna put these guys right here in Ukraine. Also feel like this is a pretty good place to start a new civilization, in my opinion. You guys will actually get a real capital, so you're gonna get Kyiv. And now we go to Mesopotamia. Let's see what we get. We get a medium expand. So let's do this. Let's get them a ton of Mediterranean coastline going all the way over here down south of Italy, and let's kind of also move them down the Red Sea a little bit. There we go. Over to China, we get a medium expand. Gonna move them right down the coast of Vietnam, all the way down, and then I guess we'll also kind of go inland a little bit, something like this. Okay, that's a lot more than medium. I feel like that was more of a large expand in my opinion. All right, India. Draw a card, large expand, finally. So India, most likely, we're gonna give them all of Sri Lanka. Then we're just gonna kind of give them like all of India. I mean, I feel like that's fair, right? Let's do this. Let's have them meet up with Mesopotamia. Like that. They now border each other technically. Going up to the Ukrainian nation, we get a large expand. And my idea for these guys is to not really make them a Ukrainian nation, but let's make them like a Black Sea empire. I feel like if we surround this entire body of water, it's gonna look pretty good. And yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Let's also give them like the entire Istanbul area down into Turkey. We'll give them like the inlands of Romania over here. And then we're gonna expand them into like Eastern Europe, over into Russia. There we go, that looks good. And we get to Florida. All right, sweet. They're gonna get a large expand. This is kind of scary. So let's do this. Let's make them like all across Central America like that. And then like, to be completely honest with you, I think we're just gonna go ahead and surround the Gulf of Mexico. Something like that. There we go. And then I guess we're gonna continue going north up into like Canada. This is fine. I'm sure the Canadians would love to have a bunch of Floridians running around. Yeah, Florida is huge. This is an insane country. All right, we get Jib. See what we can do with Jib. They're gonna expand. Sweet. I should really start checking like the archetypes of these countries, because I don't know if they like mountains or if they like flatlands. Okay, we finally get a new religion, this time in India, but it looks like they're going to be adopting a religion, so we're going to have to actually give them the Mesopotamian religion, because I do believe that makes the most sense. So this is our new religion map, and then we're also going to get a turn with India, and we're going to make a new nation. Let's go up here to the Cascadian region of the United States / Canada. Let's put a nation down over here. We'll give them all a Vancouver Island around the Seattle area and up into British Columbia. We can also give them a capital. I think we're going to go put it right here in Seattle. But I do want to bring attention to this. Age of conflict, 8 turns. Now we can also expand into other countries. I do want to make that clear. I haven't really been doing that because I think it's cool just to like fill up the map with colors. That's my whole career. So we're going to do that instead. And Kyiv is going to get another large expansion. This country is about to be really big. These guys are hill dwellers. I had to cancel the turn just to check. So we're going to get a medium expand this time. But since they're hill dwellers, I guess we're going to put them in Anatolia. We're going to cut off the Mesopotamians from going any further into the western region. And then we're going to, like, I guess colonize a little bit of Romania. All right, that looks pretty good. Oh no, we get to split the Seattle team into two. No, I'm sorry, Seattle. Hey, that wasn't my order. The game told me to do it, but I'm also okay with it, so it's also my fault as well. All right, well, that looks god-awful, but we can't really do anything about it now. We can give these guys a capital, though, and I think we're going to make them into the California team. So we'll give them a capital down here in San Fran, and we randomized over to Ukraine again. Oh boy. Hopefully it's not bad. Small expand. Okay, that's a good thing. Let's move them further into Turkey. I'm actually going to go ahead and give them Cyprus, just to really cut off Mesopotamia, you know, make them mad about something. So this is what the Black Sea country is looking like now, and honestly, they might be pretty strong. Like, they have all of Anatolia, they have a good chunk of Romania, a good chunk of Ukraine, and a bunch of Greek isles down to Crete and Cyprus. I don't know. I mean, looks good to me. All right, so we're gonna build a castle in China. Cool. Let's put it over here in this area. We're gonna call it Fort Ming after the Ming Dynasty. All right, Denmark gets a card drawn, and we're gonna get a new nation. Honestly, let's put them over here in Indonesia. I think that would be fun. So we'll just put them on the southern tip of Borneo, maybe over here in Sumatra a little bit, down in Java. Give them a bunch of islands too, because I'm feeling generous. There we go. There's our new civilization. Put the capital over here in Singapore. So we have one more turn until the Age of Conflict. I'm not gonna use it on Ukraine. I'm actually gonna go ahead and use it on the I kind of want to use it on these guys, but also kind of don't want to use it on these guys because these guys are impossible to see. So we're going to use it on Mesopotamia. We get medium expand. So like I was doing earlier, I think we're just going to move them down like the Red Sea coast. Maybe we'll also push them inland a little bit like that. And now we have 0 turns, so I don't know what that means. Apparently it means nothing because nothing happened. All right, pink team Australia, there you go. There's just a ton more land. We're going to give them a little bit of Tasmania as well. And Uruguay is going to have to adopt a religion. Currently there's only one religion in the world. So get ready to learn Islam, buddy. Denmark's gonna get a small expansion. We're gonna move them into like the Netherlands area. Then we get the Indonesians getting one. They're gonna build a castle. We're gonna call it Fort Borneo, I think works. Large expand. Oh god. All right, Canada, get ready for Florida, man. He's moving in. I don't want to actually push them too far north because then I feel like it's like, you know, too cold for the Floridians. So let's head back down south here. Let's give them a little bit of land in like South America. Yeah, we're gonna wrap around like Brazil's coast, maybe push in a little bit. That looks good. Yeah, Florida is huge. That is insane. All right, now we get to come back over here to Cascadia. We're gonna draw a card with Seattle, and they're gonna get a small split. These poor souls cannot stay straight. So we're spitting out Vancouver, and there we go. Okay, we're going back to Jib, and we are in the Age of Division now. We're gonna spit out like the we're gonna spit out Iberia, or I guess northern Iberia. So there we go. Now it's a little bit easier to see. I'm praying on this nation's downfall. For Ukraine, oh, we get a small split in Ukraine. So I'm assuming this means we're just gonna like lose a bunch of countries. So let's do, I guess we'll do this area of Cyprus in southern Turkey. Something like this going into Crete. Maybe we'll give them all these Greek islands and a little bit like Greek coast, something like that. Sorry, not Greek coast, that's Turkish coast. Please don't kill me in the comments. And then we're gonna give them Istanbul, and yeah, I think this works pretty good for these guys. Okay, I guess we're just gonna keep taking land. There we go. And then, of course, this will be the Istanbul nation. And it wants me to select Ukraine again. Is the game preying on Ukraine's downfall? No, it's not. It's giving it a medium expand. So we could just expand right back on into Istanbul, but that would be pretty boring. So instead, we're going to go ahead and expand into Eastern Europe a little bit more. Maybe go north a little bit, something like that. That looks pretty good. Then we get China, and they're going to get a small split. So I think realistically, it makes sense that we go ahead and like split Japan off of China. And then we actually still have a lot of bar left. So we might also like split away South Korea. Taking a bunch of land here. Yeah, we took all of the Philippines, and we still have room for more. All right, I guess the only realistic option would be to expand it into this part of China. So there we go. Japan has very largely broken away from China. We'll go ahead and put their capital over here, and I'm not doing that. New Tokyo. Oh, now we get back down to the land down under, and we're getting a small expand for the Australians. So I think I'm going to go ahead and expand them up the coast over here like that, and there we go. Now, I do want to say once again that I haven't played this game before. I've only watched like 2 videos on it of another YouTuber playing, and if there's like a strategy to the game that I'm missing, then I'm sorry. Just let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you guys do want to see more of this game, maybe even a series, because I do feel like this is like a long game to play. This isn't really a game that you can just go in and do a quick scenario, and I feel like this is something you have to spend a lot of time on, because look how much empty space we still have on this map. Like all of Africa, all of South America, North America, and Asia, they're all just completely empty. So this is definitely like a long game to play, and obviously I'm not going to be able to fill up this entire map in this video. So once again, if you want to see me play more of this game, Let me know in the comments below. Liking the video helps, subscribing to the channel helps, sharing the video with others, you know, get the video more views so that I see that you guys are actually watching it and enjoying it. I'm not ending the video just yet, I'm just letting you know. Okay, so we come back up here to, I guess, Spain at this point. We actually don't have a capital for these guys, so let's go ahead and do one. We're gonna call the capital of this place, the Red Chair. Yeah, that seems fine. The red chair and the blue country. What am I talking about? Draw a card, and this thing is adopting a religion. Still, there's only one religion in the world to adopt, and that is Islam. So, congratulations, Spain. You are now Islamic once again. Now we're drawing a card for, looks like we're drawing a card for Istanbul, and they are going to get a new leader. And Indonesia is going to adopt the religion of Islam. Okay, this is realistic. We're doing good now. Smart game, smart game. The only unrealistic thing, I think, is, you know, South America having an Islamic nation in Uruguay. But there's only one religion in the world, so there's really not much I can do about that. Anyway, the game wants me to select Indonesia once more. We're going to do that, and they're going to form a union, which honestly kind of sucks. I mean, there's not really like any realistic unions for them to form right now. I don't really think that China or Japan would want to do it. I don't really think South Australia would want to do it, nor India. So really, this kind of sucks. So let's have them unite with South Brazil. I know this makes no sense. I know realistically that makes no sense, but hear me out. We're going to do that. We're going to select Uruguay, and then we're going to draw a card, and we're going to split the nation in two. All right, that was not going according to plan. I wanted us to have like an expansion. So I am sorry about that, Uruguay. That was not my intention when I clicked on you. So yeah, we're gonna split you in two. Sorry about that, bud. And then we also get South Uruguay now. And now we get to form yet another new nation. And I think we're gonna put it over here in Somalia / Ethiopia, whatever you want to call it. And I think we're gonna make this like a Swahili coast kind of nation going all the way down here. Something like that. That gives us a lot of land to cover. Coming over to Japan, we're gonna get a small expand for them, so we're just going to move them right on up the Japanese Isles. And we get China as well, and we're splitting China. All right, so we're going to have North and South China very soon. So I guess we'll just go bottom up, you know, we'll start from Vietnam and make our way up. This is going to be a huge split. Oh boy. So there we go. Now we have South China. Well, there's a lot of southern nations. I'm kind of sensing a theme here. We're going to call these guys Viet Bomb. Why not? All right, and we get Mesopotamia again. Let's draw a card, and they're going to get a small split. And I think there's no better area to put this small split than down here in Arabia / the UAE or Qatar or whatever. You know, something's just telling me that this is a good place to have a nation split away and be blue. So they are gonna not completely cut Baghdad off from the ocean, but they're gonna get pretty close. All right, India, your time is now. What are you gonna do? Oh, you're gonna split in two. We are in the age of division, so this does kind of make sense, you know, but we're gonna go ahead and spit out southern India. I might try to actually like detail this a little bit, you know, make it look a little bit nicer than what I would usually do. Okay, or not, that doesn't really look like anything special. Okay, we're coming back over to Uruguay now, and they're splitting again. Good gosh. The poor Uruguayans. Man, I really need to start learning how to pronounce country names. Okay, so Uruguay has shattered into like 3 pieces. We're coming back to Gib, and they're splitting as well. Unfortunate day to be a country, or I guess in this case a civilization. Then we're getting Kyiv again. Let's see what we get. We get a small expand. This game really likes Ukraine for some reason. Let's move them down into like the Caucasus Mountains, kind of into the like hilly area or mountainy area of Turkey. Not gonna have them invade into Istanbul, but I think we're gonna try to reach on over to, okay, or not, but we're gonna start to reach on over to Copenhagen here. I'm actually gonna select next, and they get a large expand. So these guys, if I remember correctly, they do like the mountains. So we'll kind of push them down into the Balkan region over here into Germany / Poland, and then we'll have them reach out and connect up with the Ukrainians, and then we'll expand them some more up here in like Norway. I guess that looks fine. We get Istanbul. They're gonna get a medium expand, so let's go ahead and put them straight on into Greece like this. Let's also have them like invade into Ukraine a little bit, maybe get some more land. Perhaps there was like a rebellion or something like that, but they're also now linking up over here with Copenhagen. Oh yeah, I forgot we have the Cascadia region. Probably work on that. Seattle is gonna get a medium expand. They're invading Windows 11. Goodbye Windows 11. They're also gonna go ahead and expand down into San Fran. Maybe they're trying to like reform their previous empire. And then we go down here to this area of Uruguay and we get a new nation. I'm actually gonna spin this little thing up north to see where we want to put this thing at. We're going to center the map wherever that spinner lands. We're going to put our new nation. Looks like we get northeast. So I guess we're making a Siberian nation. I don't really know if there's like climate in this game. We're going to hope there isn't though. And I want you guys to hear me out here. Arctic Circle nation. More so Arctic Circle civilization. I don't believe this is like physically possible for humans to do, but hey, you know, this isn't like a really realistic game or anything. Doesn't really appear to be much boundaries to what I can do, so we're doing it. Northern Siberian Coast Civilization. Good luck. You're gonna need it. And we go back to Kyiv and we get a medium expand once again. Holy, this game really likes Ukraine. So let's go ahead and push them like up against the borders of these other two nations over here, something like that. Now Europe actually has like official borders, which is sweet. All right, India, what do we get here? We get a union, and they're going to unionize with South India. It all works out in the end. We're going to select the South Africans, and then, oh, okay, they're going to split. How do you split in the Age of Unity? It doesn't seem right. That's fine though. We'll go ahead and split up South Africa a little bit. You know, I'm feeling kind of evil. Let's do something, let's do something crazy. Oh, wait a minute. This is not South Africa. This is Florida. I forgot the Floridian Empire is huge. It spans all the way down to Africa, which actually this works pretty well. This is going to make a little bit more sense geographically. Maybe not like a whole bunch of sense, but maybe a little bit. We're going to free Northern South America, and then I guess also hand them a little bit of Central America. We don't want to impede on the Floridian Empire too hard, so let's just keep snaking up the coast of Central America. We'll go into Yucatan, and I think that works pretty well. So the Floridian Empire has now been damaged, meaning that the strongest country in this world at this point is probably going to be either the Danish or the Ukrainians, but now we're coming down to Vietnam, and they're going to adopt a religion. Islam is spreading again. All right, we got a medium expand for China, and I do remember them being like the hilly type, so we're gonna go ahead and like move them inland. Pretty simple expansion, you know, maybe I guess follow this river down into the Tibetan plateau of death and destruction. There's a few rivers here. We're just gonna follow that one though. Oh, the game wants me to mess with Uruguay again. All right, what are we doing, Uruguay? Small expand. You know what? That works. We're going to invade into this purple country here. We're not gonna take them out, but we're gonna take a good portion of them. Okay, they're gonna find a religion, which is, this is good. We finally have a new religion. So there we go. Now we can see the religions of the world. It's mostly just Islam, and then whatever this is over here in West Africa. And Kiev is also gonna find a religion. All right, sweet. I guess this would be like Orthodox Christianity, but there we go. New religion on the map. We get China again. Let's draw a card, and they're gonna get a medium expand. Okay, I accidentally clicked a random dot right there. That kind of sucks. But kind of similar to what we were just doing. Let's like follow these rivers a little bit, and then it looks like we should probably just like fill in this area right here. The cool thing about this game is that we can like make realistic borders. So we'll like make a river border right here. Okay, or not. I ran out of pixels. We're messing with Florida. What's Florida gonna do? They're gonna unionize. And you know what better nation to unionize with than the nation that just broke away from you? Florida Empire, welcome right on back. India's gonna draw a card. They're gonna get a new leader. That's fine. Origin diverged. Select new nation. Does that mean, oh no, every single civilization just re-annexed all of its breakaways? I think. Or not? I'm not too sure what origin diverged means. I guess we'll try it out in China. And they're gonna get union, so let's unite with South China, and I guess also Vietnam. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff for me to learn about this game. I'm missing a few things, so once again, let me know in the comments. Let's go ahead and get these last two turns out of the way. We're going back to Gib, drawing a card. They're getting a new leader. All right, that's kind of lame. But it looks like we're going to be ending this video with Mesopotamia. Draw a card, they get medium expand. So let's go into the desert a little bit, you know, round that thing off. We're going to go up around into the Carthage area. We're going to invade, okay, we're not going to invade Cyprus. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video of Doodle Empires. This was a really interesting game. You know, this is a kind of game that I feel like would do really good on this channel in terms of you guys actually enjoying and watching the video, because this is basically what I do with the Wixo series. This is basically just Wixo as a game. I do want to clarify that this game didn't just come out. It's been out for a while. It's just that the world map mode, I believe, just came out, and I saw a bunch of suggestions from you guys telling me to play the game, so ultimately here we are. But yeah, like I said, this is a really neat game. This is a really cool idea. I just don't think that you can do an entire run in one video. It just doesn't seem very possible. But this is definitely a game that I could see myself live streaming. You know, maybe we can do a different scenario map where it's like a more focused in region, and that would make maybe for a better video rather than us trying to fill up an entire world map. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All the support is greatly appreciated as we're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers by the end of this summer. Like I said in the beginning, I created a new Discord server for you guys, the fans. If you were in either of the previous servers, you'll know that those servers sucked. They were awful. They were toxic, not good. This new server though, it's fixed, and most importantly, it's full of mapping fans just like you watching this video. So if you want to interact with them, maybe learn some things or share your ideas, share your maps, flags, whatever, join the Discord server. Link to it in the description below. When this video comes out, we're probably over 1,000 members at this point, which is awesome. You know, the server just launched on Wednesday, and here we are 1,000 members later, so awesome. Actually, it hit 1,000 members on Thursday, so I don't know what it's at now. Maybe it's at like 1,500, who knows? But once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. And of course, thank you to all our super fans. This includes Serminator, IC Static FN, CTG on YT, Igsco, Euroball, Augusto, A Norwegian, RS, Gail Martinez, America and Canada and UK, Zaylance, the leader of the AZO, Freezioi, Laser Taze, Pablo Sigma Cat, Death Strider X, Hammer Toad 45, and of course, DW Cool Dude. Once again, thank you guys.